Curries Corner. The opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of B1039, Up North Radio, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Time for Curries Corner, brought to you by Hooked at Curries, Susan Bean at Big Rapids Realty, Big Rapids Pennzoil and Auto Repair, Seth Winger at the Winger Insurance Agency, Gilbert's Carpets Plus Color Tile, Barryton Firearms and Training Center, DW2 Drywall, Michigan ADOS, the Monk Janowitz Funeral Home in Big Rapids and the Janowitz Family Funeral Home in Remus, and Paris Auto Sales.
There's a man named Pat Curry, he's got a passion for the news.
Bob Tice is with me this morning. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
Bob's from Barryton. I just want to start with a few other things. First of all, you know, when you get up in the morning and everything's going great and you're thinking about having a great show this morning with one of my favorites, Bob Tice out of Barryton, Michigan. He's quite the historian. I stopped by his house here last Saturday, I guess it was, and I said, Bob, I got to have you on the show. Life goes by so fast, and there's so many stories out there that have to be told and put on a tape so we can hear about them maybe down the road or whatever. But anyway, good morning, Bob, again. Before we get started, you know, your mood is set on what you got?
One down.
One down. All right, one down. All the way down. Oh, all right. All right. Now we're on two. Can you hear me all right? Do I have to start over again? No, not really. Okay, good. But anyway, Bob's an inspiration. He has been to a lot of equipment salesman for many, many years, so he knew people from the East Coast to the West Coast to the South Coast to the North Coast. But anyway, like I said before, the tone was set great. And then I drove into the gas station. And you say, well, how could that depress you? You've been doing it for 50-some years. Well, it doesn't depress me. I love the guys every morning at the mayor's table there. They're just a lot of fun. But on our marquee this morning, it said, pray for Janie Shepherd family. For you that didn't know Janie, she was a beautiful gal from southeast Michigan, I believe. Could be wrong. She had a son, Mark. Was her first husband, Shepherd. He died of a massive heart attack coming out of Michigan Knife one day. Very, very sad. Mark and I were very good friends. He was a class of 71. Died way too young. Janie worked at the hospital for many years. She was a nurse there, and I tell you, I know the patients that she had loved her because just like so many other, you know, we could be gone tomorrow. We gotta really live today. So I tried to get inspired by something else, not get down this morning. But pray for her family. She was a wonderful, wonderful mother, wonderful, wonderful grandmother, wonderful friend to so many of us. Janie Shepherd, God bless you. You're around the throne tonight for sure, Janie. God bless you. But anyway, I wanted to wish Dan Hicks the 72nd yesterday. I know he's down in Florida, not listening probably, but he's 72 years old. One of the older guys in our class is 72. So there you go, 72. Dan Spadowski had to go, but somebody like myself kind of brought to the forefront. Sherry Gilbert was the coach then, and I don't know how many coaches since Sherry, because she's an old-timer now, or before her, but anyways, recognized now throughout the state. Katie Lattimore is their coach this year, and I think she has been for quite some time. I know J.J. Strokeridge was on the team when he was in high school. I don't know how far they went in the past, but this year, they're running. Yesterday was historical, kind of historical to me it was anyway, because you know up in Reed City, I would just want to talk about the Reed City Council and the city manager up there that took the business over from his dad Sam, and Sam and I, everybody knows, we were very good friends. We came out of the 3rd Ward. Sam worked hard for everything he got in life. He died way too young in his 50s. I think it's been, 11 years now I think he's been gone. But when he left a young man to take the business over. Ben was probably right around 29, 30 years old. So he had big shoes to fill. Well, he made the shoes bigger because this man, Ben, early 40s now, or just 40 years old, took Dad's business over and growed it and growed it and growed it. I know that's not proper grammar, but I like saying growed it. I tell you what, I give credit to the council up in Reed City, and we're going to give them a chance. It was unanimous, so I just wanted to thank Reed City Council for using common sense and giving a guy a chance. You know, so many times the corporations, they say they don't have what we have. Well, that's true. Dad loved him, and just want to thank Reed City. So That being said, I go in and see him because my brother John and I were just talking about him not too long ago. And John said he'd seen him someplace, and I said, gosh, I got to get over and see him. So I drove in the driveway, and there was a couple there. I said, Bob around. Oh, he's out there with his dog and the lady friend, and they're out there in the cornfield someplace. He'll be back in a little bit. He came back, and the rest is history. We're sitting here. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
Well, we started talking about your life. You know, Barryton's been a big suburb of Big Rapids for many years. A lot of people from Barryton farm on the horse farm there, learning horse business. Russell Squires, good friend, just passed here recently, and we'll talk about Russ. But a lot of those guys, if you looked at Barryton, there was Williams Cafe, Lonnie Hanson's gas station, and there was another gas station across from Lonnie. Was that Drake?
Yeah, it used to be.
Yep. And now that's gone, right?
That's gone.
Yeah. And but most of those guys were oil workers, weren't they?
Yes, they come in about the early 40s of the oil fields come in east of town.
Why was that, Bob? They all just, because they were all farmers in Barryton at one time, probably.
Yeah, they were. But pretty much agricultural area. We all grew up on a farm. I grew up on a chicken farm. Tice's Barred Rock.
Okay, and that's Craig and Dwayne.
Paul worked over in Mount Pleasant. Nancy was a school teacher there at the local school system.
So most people that lived there worked outside of Barryton, or like oil rigs weren't in Barryton, though, right?
No, they were east of town. About the oil field was east of town about 4 miles, and that come in 1942, and a lot of the people come in working on the oil fields, and that's and there's some of those families still around, but most of them times have changed. They've gone by.
So where did you go to school? Downtown Barryton then?
Yeah, I went to the Barryton School, high school right there in town. Finished there and then went to Ferris. Got my degree in Ferris and then to Central. I got my master's in Central. That was a long time ago.
Was that business then or?
No, well, I started in teaching school up at Father passed away. Had insurance for 17 years, and my dad and I got a racehorse back in '68. And she wasn't much, but we didn't give much for it. And I went with the racehorses down the Detroit area.
Now, was the name of the insurance company Tice's?
No, it was Wood Insurance Agency.
That's what I thought, yeah. Why was that, Bob Woods?
Well, it started by Wayne. Wayne Wood was a banker there in town. He started it. My dad bought in with him in the early 60s. And then when I bought it, I had Tice Realty and had my real estate brokers there.
Boy, you were quite the entrepreneur over it. Everybody.
I've been I've been around a lot of corners.
What part of life did you like the most, Bob?
I like talking to the people. I like the tack business.
Yeah.
We started the tack, or we got into tack in Flint, actually, at Swartz Creek. Swartz Creek Raceway. Ended up with a tack shop there in Saginaw and Jackson. Yeah. And in '99, we were invited to come to Florida with a tack shop, so we went there
99.
And spent 21 years there.
Now, when you say you guys, was you and you had a partner in that?
Well, yeah, but down there I had a fellow that we had 2 tack shops in Indiana, and he ran those, he and his wife, Jim, and the training center in Florida.
Yeah, which one was that down there, and where was that at?
Well, we were at Spring Garden Ranch.
Okay.
That's at DeLand or DeLeon Springs.
And that's still there now?
Yes. They've got about 400 head of horses. We had a sale and sold our inventory, and that was the end of it. Sold our residents.
Yeah. So then you had the real estate business, and then the insurance company. That was the only one in Barryton, too, at the time, right? Still is there.
Yeah, we sold away.
I know you did, Bob. So, partnerships normally don't work.
That's right.
Yeah, percentage is pretty low. One disrupts it or the other, whatever. But why do you think you two were successful? And maybe that'll help somebody understand if they're thinking about going into a partnership. There's give and take always in a marriage or whatever. And it's like a marriage, isn't it? Probably even tougher.
Well, it is, and of course, evidently, our personalities meshed a little bit. He was a great salesman. He had a keen eye for buying things, And my dad always had he always said that interesting story about him. He was very you don't want to end up being a gypsy like your old man, do you?
Oh, yeah.
And Jim reached out and popped him on the chin and left school and never went back.
Really?
Yeah, so.
Where was that, out in the east?
Out in the east somewhere,
Yeah.
a freehold, I think.
Yeah. Now, I know most people around here, I just like to talk about people, so I'll move on.
With a bit,
But he knew them all then.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
He knew a lot of good horsemen.
Jim, his dad raced, and
Good horsemen.
his dad raced, and Jim knew everybody up and down the East Coast. And
What did he do at 9th grade? Then he got out of that and he went to work? Or?
he got horse and started racing horses. Yeah.
Wow. So then when he got out of the horse business, is that when he bought in with you in the equipment business? You guys started that?
He run that shop for me.
Well, being he's an Easterner, how the hell did you meet him out here?
He came in with Eddie Morgan from Kentucky, and it was interesting because he bought and sold stuff. He came into my shop one morning and wondered if I would like to buy a couple harnesses, and we haggled about the harnesses, and I ended up buying them, and that was it was a qualifying day. And I had a place for them when I bought them. I knew where they were going to be sold. So he came back that night and he said, "What'd you do with the harnesses you bought?" And I said, "Well, I sold them already." Well, he was kind of impressed with that. So I knew one of Eddie Morgan's people. And I said, "Do you know anything about this Jim Valenti?" And the guy said, "Yeah, the thing I know about him, you might better have him for a friend than an enemy." And so he and I, when the next time he came in, I said, "How about going in the used business?" And so that's what we did. And
so he bought, and then you sold it.
Yeah, basically. We were in the used business together, used harnesses and used equipment. And I had the new shop. I mean, I sold the new supplies and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, then I fell to the manager at Swartz Creek, moved on, and he helped build the two new racetracks at Anderson, Indiana, and the other one down the road at Indianapolis. And he called me one day and asked if we'd like to have a tack shop down there. And Jim wanted to go down there. He knew those people, and so he and his wife went down, and he ran that tack shop for me down there.
Wow, that's a lot of moving around.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why your longevity in life is? You kept moving around a lot?
Yeah.
What is the secret to life, Bob, do you think?
Well, I don't know. I guess take care of yourself, for one. Plus, I have had pretty decent health.
Yeah.
And my mind has stayed pretty good. I'm going to be 86 here on a road commission for 17 years and a village council, but that's all. I was never.
Well, you were involved.
I never cared for politics too much.
Yeah, but I'm not blowing you up here, blowing smoke, but you're an honest guy.
Well,
that's pretty important.
I tried to be. It was that always be just as happy, that your customer be just as happy with their deal tomorrow as they were today.
Yeah.
And if they aren't, make it right. And we've got along good that way, and was in the tack business for 30 years or better. And one of the biggest compliments I got was an old customer of mine that is out of business and said, "Well, one thing about those guys, they were honest. You could depend on them."
Yeah, I heard that over and over.
Yeah.
A lot of the places you just had to watch them a little bit. But when you walked into your shops, you guys were upstanding.
Well, I tried to give them what they,
Yeah, you did. Then, so going back to your childhood days, what was the best part of living in Barryton as a kid?
Of course, back in the early days, my folks were in the horse business, and they had pregnant mares urine that they sold. They had 100 head of horses and so on. They got out of that, but my dad bought me a horse when I was 6 months old, and a little Shetland pony, and she was nothing. And at 6 years, he bought me a riding horse, Buster. I had him till I was 20, till we were about the same age, 28. It got to be dusk, and I'd come back in, and folks never worried about where you were or what you were doing. Today, you wouldn't dare let kids out of your sight that long.
What generation are you from over there then? Did your dad immigrate here then?
No. We've been here as long as
Long time.
Yeah.
What Germans?
Grant Ginrich was a big farmer. Claire
Oh, yeah.
Flory was big back in that day. Some of the, well, I guess those were the two biggest farmers. Andy Stanley, he just passed away this last summer.
Yeah.
They were all big farmers, all competitive. And they used to, one of them that I know, Claire Flory, he'd always have real tall corn out by the road, but he wanted to have better corn than any of his farming buddies, so he bought a variety that got tall but didn't produce much corn, and he'd plant the first 10 rows of that, so it looked like it was a great cornfield.
Oh, yeah.
And looked better than his neighbors. That was always a running joke at the early time, but then we moved into town where we are now. My dad bought that farm from my grandmother in that would have been 1947.
Wow.
And so we were there ever since.
How about, Paulette DeVries?
No, I don't.
She's a Denslow.
Yeah, Paulette Denslow,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. She's one of my favorites here in Big
Yeah,
Rapids. She
then-
married Ron DeVries.
It's just,
Her family. Talk about her family a little bit.
well, the Denslows, her mother, I think, was the cook at the school system there.
Okay.
And her sister is Willie and Linda Finney. Linda Denslow. Yep, there.
What did her dad do then?
He worked in Mount Pleasant someplace.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. They lived right in Barryton then?
No, they lived east of town, a ways out in the country.
Well, on Coleman Road, folks, M66 and Chippewa Lake Road come together and then go across 66 is Coleman Road.
Yeah, that's Coleman Road.
There used to be, and it's still there, the old farm, but was that Stanley's in there?
Andy Stanley lived on that area out through that way, and then we started out we call it the Chapman Farm, but that was on out. That's where the oil wells were, is out right out that direction off the Coleman Road.
Then the Squires family.
Yeah, Russ Squires.
Yeah. What did his dad do?
Bob, I don't know what he worked in Big Everett, I think.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
Okay.
Then Louis became a chiropractor.
Louis is a chiropractor in Reed City now, still doing it.
Is he? Yeah. And then the rest of them were oil rigs, but Russell elected to get off that and go to the horses.
He left that, went down, worked for some horse people down there. One of the interesting things about Louis was that we would all meet for coffee. They were working the oil fields, and I said, Louis, what do you do in the oil field? Illinois. And worked for a man by the name of Alexander, had a lot of Grand Circuit horses.
Yeah.
Did quite well down there, yep.
Like yourself, a lot of people from Barryton have the restaurant. Jerry has the restaurant, right? He was the county commissioner at one time.
Yeah. And,
good one.
And Jack has the gas station and his party store.
And he came from the bus garage, right? He was the maintenance and transportation director for many years. Him and his wife are wonderful people.
Yeah.
But, they could have just retired, and she has a good job. I think she's still working in Mount Pleasant, the school district over at St. Francis.
Could be. Yeah, I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, not St. Francis, but Sacred Heart over there in Mount Pleasant. And then they could have just gone on and just retired, and they got enough to live on, blah, blah, blah. But instead, he fixed that corner up really nice, didn't he?
It really is. They've done very well. And the restaurant, of course, is noted around the country. Williams was their father. He lived out on the Coleman Road. And then his brother was Nolan. Nolan was my age or a little older. And known them for years, all my life.
Well, did Neil farm at one time before he went to Ferris?
No, Neil worked for Ferris in their print shop. And he ended up buying the old Barryton Press.
Oh, I didn't know that.
At one time.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he had that for a little bit. And then worked for Ferris.
Yeah.
In the athletic department, I think.
They loved him up there.
Yeah.
He ended up being in the athletic department, I think.
Yeah. Took care of the football. There were very few that, it used to be everybody back in the days of Jason Kimball, my dad, and Wayne Wood, and those people, they were all businessmen, and they all took pride. That when there are fewer businesses, those two you just spoke about, Lonnie Hansen and
Right.
And Jack Williams and the restaurant there, the Dairy Bar. But they're the mainstays there business-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps not to have a highway. Could you just imagine if 66 went around Barryton, what it would be like?
It would have been a ghost town.
Yeah, because, and that's happened up to 131. Like the other day, I was coming back from Traverse City. We had a siblings weekend, and we elected to take old 131, went through Manton. And it's kind of sad. You go through Manton now, the old dairy bar's closed, and there's one restaurant there. So you got to go through kind of 31 and then take a left on 22. Well, prior to getting there, you have now I think it might be 4 roundabouts. For you folks out there, think about this. A roundabout is supposed to be a more efficient intersection. So here I am coming out of Tom's, and I'm in the roundabout. I have the right-of-way. So people that are coming on the right-of-way, is a yield sign there. So as I go by, they can jump on, right? This lady comes up to it, and I'm looking at her, and she doesn't even look at me, just drives straight through. It's almost like we should all take driver's ed again.
Right.
And that being said, I think we ought to talk and maybe start a class, not the left lane, and a yellow light.
About that, well, on the way over this morning, in the fog, we had a car come buzzing up. And of course, I don't drive like I used to. I slowed down a bit. But anyway, come buzzing up behind us, double yellow line, a route around me, passed me on the hill. And no more than got in, and here comes somebody over the hill. It could have been seconds away from a head-on.
Yeah.
But young people are, I don't know whether there's such a rush to get to work or whether they leave late or what they're doing, but it seems like everybody's in a hurry anymore.
Yeah, we went up. Have you ever been up to Mission Point? I know we're getting off.
I've been there, but not a long time
God, that's
ago.
beautiful. We drove up there, and coming back, I had the motor home, and everybody was in it. And this guy was right on my rear end, and we're on 37 Mission Point. The speed limit's 55, 45, a lot of places. And he decides to pass me, and this woman pulls out to go to the north. Had she not been watching, there would have been head-on collision. That guy was right there, and she got off the road.
Got into Big Rapids.
Wenger, I should say, Paris. Don't forget to vote for the right governor, by the way. DW2, Michigan ADAS, Hooked at Curries, Big Rapids Realty, Sue Bean.
Yep.
Barryton Firearms.
5 years experience, they'll have you in and out in a flash, and a free car wash with every service. And don't forget about tires. As quickly as the seasons change in Michigan, it's easy to lose your grip. Luckily, Pennzoil in Big Rapids has the tires you need to dominate all seasons in Michigan. Big tires, fast tires, grippy tires, sleek tires. Go see Zach Wells at Big Rapids Pennzoil today. He'll get you back on the road and ready to roll. That's Big Rapids Pennzoil, located at 710 North State Street, or give them a call at 231-796-4730. When the time comes to say goodbye, you need a funeral home that understands your family's needs. The Monk Janowitz Funeral Home in Big Rapids and the Janowitz Family Funeral Home in Remus have been a trusted part of this community for generations. They do take care of every family like their own, and they hear it time and time again.
My name is Christina Beers. I would say there's lots of funeral homes in the area.
Big Rapids and the Janowitz Family Funeral Home in Remus. Local, professional, and here for you when it matters most.
I'm Haley. My husband and I bought our home pretty much about she was our best choice. Sue Bean makes it personalized because she figures out exactly what you're wanting as a buyer, and she figures out exactly what you need as a seller. So she combines both of those things and successfully helps you get exactly what you need out of any scenario. I'm grateful for Sue's persistence, her honest feedback, most importantly, her caring concern to us as the seller, and then also additionally with this piece of property that we purchased as the buyer. She's there to protect you as both. That was really important to me. You can get a hold of Susan Bean at Big Rapids Realty by calling 231-580-9546 or online at bigrapidsrealty.com. Email her at sbean, S-B-E-A-N, at bigrapidsrealty.com.
All right, Bob, we're back with Bob Tice. Bob and Bob show, we could call this morning if Bob would talk, but he said he can't because he doesn't have a mic. But he's going to get a mic now.
Yeah.
But anyway, Bob, we can't forget to talk about a couple other people here in Barryton. Lonnie Hansen and his wife had Hansen Standard Oil for many, many years, still do.
Yep.
But the generation before that was his father-in-law that started this.
Roger Reddick was his father-in-law, and he's there. And of course, his grandmother, Bird Reddick, is the one that they were there at the turn of the 19th century, actually.
Wow.
And so they've been there for years and years and years.
And then you go down Murphy's Bar, that's still there.
Yeah, that was sold years ago, but it was still called Murphy's. It's owned, I don't know who owns it now, but it's Murphy's Bar. And Murphy's have good hamburgers.
Yeah,
So
they
it's
do.
good
I had their
eats.
chicken that night I was there.
Yeah.
And then you go back, you have Williams, which is the staple of the restaurants in
Yeah.
Western Michigan.
Yeah.
And then you have McCursey's.
Brother Red McCursey. Red did all the buying the cattle and the butchering part, and Harlan and Ronnie ran the store. And so it's Harlan's kids, are his two sons that have it now. Of course, Mitch is getting Wixon and Dean used to Wixon's used to be the grocery store.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, I have one thing that I wanted to be sure and let you know, an interesting story. Of course, my wife Betty and I went to church together as young kids, just growing up, and we both went our ways and both had families, and she lost her husband, I lost my wife, and got back together, and we've been very happy together.
Well, so was she in the equipment business with you too?
Oh no, she had a farm down in the Vesterberg area.
Okay.
And her mother was Ruth Johnson, who worked at the dairy.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about horse business a little bit. Mecosta County is one of the fairs that has always been kind of a staple for Western Michigan with harness racing. Thanks to my brother John and the fair board there, and we have a celebrity race there. Pretty much used to fill the stands. It still gets quite a few people that come to that. But the business overall, you were in it in the heyday, and it was unbelievable. I remember racing. I feel bad because Matt he's the equine dentist now, and he never saw DRC Rovering in Livonia, and I raced there myself back in the 70s at Mile Racetrack, and that stands would be full.
Right. Could hardly get down the apron.
No, and gambling was $1 million a night, and then they'd switch over to Hazel Park, then you had Northville Downs, and the
Place
race.
the flying turns, they were banked high, and
Yeah, and that was the only racetrack I ever went. I said, what do you mean? Hell, they're shooting at each other.
That's right.
I saw on Sheridan Street. He goes, oh, you don't go down Sheridan Street, do you? I said, well, yeah, I always have. Oh, no, you don't want. He said, you're lucky you had a horse trader. If you wouldn't have, you'd never made it out. Seriously.
Yeah, there was a tough area. That's one of the things that put Saginaw to the end, but and it made the circle, and about like you tell, I heard a poppity pop, 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 and then they had a gunfight right the next street over. I don't know what was the outcome of it, but it was a tough place.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Saginaw.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was a great place to race.
Yeah, it was. It's kind of sad, and I know it's probably not that interesting to the viewers if we have any out there this morning. But that industry flourished in the 50s, 60s, well, actually the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, it hit the all-time.
Yep.
And then 80s, it was good. The 90s, you saw a little decrease. And I know you're...
But I think there was 2 or 3 things. Of course, you mentioned the casinos. They had a big part of that, going for the gambling dollar. As far as the parimutuel tracks, they can't put themselves in that, and they don't get excited. But it's nothing exciting for them because they can't relate to it. So I think that's been one of the biggest things. It's kind of like the buggy whip. People don't think about the horse racing, and they don't attend like they used to. They used to go from fair to fair. Remember the Kavanaughs, Pete and John Kavanaugh. I can't remember his Paul Kavanaugh. Yeah, and they'd go getting Joe or John Cavanaugh, he had a truck with a topper. He'd go
Right.
from fair to fair to fair to
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
And
The local economy was just booming back then because those guys would stay for the whole week at Big Rapids. Some would camp here for 2 weeks.
Yep.
They'd go to the restaurants, the grain,
Sure.
farm and garden there, and geez, it was just a big industry.
but it was a lot more money than we raced for back when I was racing.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's
But your assessment was as good as I've ever heard. You're exactly right. They're dying off. You know, I asked Brett Boyd. He's in business down there in Hillsdale, and he's big into horses.
sure.
And he's really does a great job mass marketing his business,
Yes,
his
he does.
grocery store.
Yep.
And I said, how's that going? He goes, it's tough. It really is tough. Competing with Myers and your other stores like that
Yep,
down there,
sure.
they finally came into Hillsdale area. And I said, well, you know, I mean, don't you have loyalty there, Brett? I mean, we've been pretty lucky in Big Rapids to have, percentage-wise, we're pretty lucky with
Yeah,
loyalty
sure.
in Big Rapids. And what can I do to save? What
Yep.
can I do to save? And so I can spend it on myself other ways or whatever.
Right.
But
Yep.
yeah, that's kind of sad. But your assessment on the horse business is so true.
Yeah.
So true. Yep. They don't feel like they're part of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, and it's not ever going to come back.
No.
A lot of, you talk to some of the horsemen and they talk about how they're optimistic about the future, but I don't think it's coming back. I mean,
Yeah. They'll have a little bit of it, but not
Yeah.
a lot. And just
Well,
it's history.
because-
The reason it is right now going is people like my brother John.
sure.
He's keeping it alive with
A
the
lot
other
at the
fairs,
fairs. This is-
promoting.
right.
I know the guys over in Hart.
Yep.
They still like the history of it. But once that age goes by, the
Yeah.
younger group coming up,
It won't be.
they've never been to a horse race. So it's too bad. Well, we won't try to get too depressed on that. Let's go back to Barryton a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you guys, Chippewa Lake is right there next to it.
Well, 10 miles west.
Yeah. So you probably got a lot of business from tourists, didn't you? Barryton businesses.
Yeah, I see. There's all kinds of lakes over there.
Yeah.
The Martini Lake projects
Yeah.
and so there's a lot of summer business there, and it's just times have changed there. A senior citizen
Oh, is it?
place, and
They have a bank there yet, though, right?
yes,
Was the old bank owned by local merchants?
yeah, Wayne Wood, don't they?
Yeah.
All of
What-
the fact that I was trying to figure out a way of making money to get through Paris, and they needed somebody to change the light bulbs, and I'd never wore a pair of spikes in my life, and they gave me $7 a bulb for changing the light bulbs, and there was 8 or 9 light bulbs needed changed, and I put the spikes on and climbed up the 70-foot pole. And when I got up to the top of it, I was shaking so hard that I couldn't get the light bulb into the socket till I shut my eyes and quieted down. But I didn't fall off the pole hatchery, and so we got up and so we got up at 6:30 in the morning and went and watered the chickens and fed the chickens and did the chores before we went to school. So
Grant Gingrich was a big farmer and one of the last ones over there, wasn't
yes, he was. Yeah,
Yeah.
He and Kenny Ferris
Yeah.
got together and had a racehorse or two.
he? Yeah. He was a colorful man, Ken Ferris.
Yeah, had a lot of horse that ever lived. He had driven it,
Yeah.
and but that was Kenny Ferris. He just
Yeah.
took. But that was Kenny Ferris. He just
Yeah.
took him for who he was and
Yeah.
listened to his stories. They were entertaining if they weren't factual.
Then the Martin, they're one of the few big farmers over there now.
They are now.
Are they the only ones?
Well, pretty much. There's a few, but he bought Grant Ginrich's farm.
Yeah.
The boys did, and they raised 400, 500 acres of corn. And somebody that they bought his business,
Yeah.
and he's farming now.
Wow. Oh, they love that farming, don't
Yeah,
they?
right.
Yeah. Hey, back years ago when I was a kid, there was talk about.
Ben, it sounded like something he might have done.
Yeah, he did. He started.
What relation was Tommy Depew to you?
Cousin, first cousin.
He was a
yeah.
cousin.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah, he was a good man.
Yeah.
He was a good horseman.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was a good driver.
To buy horses and put them on Amish buggies.
Oh, they
took them to Shipshewana in the 90s. I would buy 75, 80 head of horses a year. and haul them to Shipshewana, but I never had much of any stock.
You had a sire there.
I had 2 or 3 stallions.
Which one was the one pretty good one there?
We had a horse called the Consort.
Yeah,
and I
bought that horse, Trotter.
Yeah, he was a Stars Pride Trotter. I bought him from Russ Squires. The interesting thing about it, and it was mentioned at Russ's funeral, somebody said he's the only guy that could buy a horse for $1,000 and sell him for $15,000, and I was the guy that bought him for $15,000.
Oh, really?
For a Amish fellow down in the south, and then
Is he a relation to you?
No. He rented my place for a couple of years. Years ago, but no, he's still in Indiana.
Yeah, doing well. Blacksmith.
Yeah.
Then Ann, his wife's the mayor of Mecosta.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Well, that's good too.
Women have come a long way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Bob, let's take a quick break. Thank our sponsors here, and we'll be right back with B1039.
Crossing paths with a flying stone is inevitable. But whether you have a small chip that needs quick attention or a windshield that's beyond saving, Michigan ADA's Calibration and Glass is there to help. If your vehicle has been in an accident and you're working with insurance, they'll handle the entire process from start to finish. From windshields to back glass and even power windows, they'll see you through it. Pun intended. Save time and skip the dealership with Michigan ADA's Calibration and Glass. Same location as JR Customs and Collision, just north of 19 Mile in Big Rapids.
Where do you go for Michigan's #1 concealed pistol license course? The same place thousands of Michigan residents have over the past 15 years, the Barryton Firearms Training Center. The BFTC conducts state-certified CPL courses right here locally inside the Barryton Conservation Club at 3444 18 Mile Road in Barryton. For just $99, all you need to bring us is your Michigan ID to these all-inclusive one-day CPL courses, which include the use of firearms, ammo, eye and ear protection, coffee and donuts in the morning, and lunch at noon. That's right, just $99 gets you everything needed to take the police department instructed course that includes the training necessary to safely load, unload, handle, and store your firearm. Students will also be trained on when it is legal to defend themselves with a firearm under Michigan's Stand Your Ground law and Castle Doctrine. Call 231-250-7257 or go online at Michigan's
475. If you want a great job done in your house, whatever you need, drywalling, call Dale. Dale and Frank will do a great job for you. Great pair of Americans. DW2 Drywall. Give them a call at 231.
Drive in Big Rapids, just south of the campus, has everything you need. They're experts in flooring and window treatments, but did you know they also specialize in beautiful countertops? Whether you're remodeling your kitchen or bathroom, their great selection of colors and styles will help you create the perfect look. Visit Gilbert's Carpets Plus Color Tile, your one-stop shop for floors, window treatments, and countertops. Stop in today and make your house a home.
Gilbert's Carpets Plus Color Tile. Stop and shop with us for a while. Gilbert's is there for you.
After decades of satisfied customers, Paris Auto Sales is still your trusted used car center of Big Rapids. So if you've been driving the same vehicle for what seems like decades, come on down to Paris Auto Sales and get yourself a new ride today. Now with 2 locations to better serve you. Trucks, cars, SUVs, big or small, and everything in between. That's Paris Auto Sales. Their team has the experience to get you financed and get you into the vehicle you've been waiting for.
I'm Seth Wenger from Wenger Insurance. For more than 100 years, we've been providing professional service and competitive insurance to West Michigan. Come visit us on Perry Street in Big Rapids or give us a call at 796-0778. We're here for you now, and we'll be here when you need us most. 796-0778.
Hooked at Curry.
Hey, I want to tell you something. Their sandwiches are incredible. But get the cheeseburger with caramelized onions. You won't ask where the beef is.
All right, Bobby, we're back. Bob Tice, we got the Bob and Bob of 1039 here. You know, we talked a lot about a lot of people in Barryton this morning, and I hope it's interested you people because, you know, there's a big part of Mecosta County. They're big taxpayers over there. Come a long ways, just like every one of our communities around here. But I want to thought that up. Well, let's tell about Ricky, Bob. How well?
The Soper, that used to be a dry goods store, then it turned into a dime store. But that's where the Sopers started out that business there, and then they took, and he's got that. There in Mecosta.
Yeah.
There's a good one there, too.
Well, a lot of people don't realize how many thousands of people live around there, especially in the summer. You got Merle Lake up there, and that's always full. And then you have Tubbs Lake, and you have Jensen. All those lakes around there are pretty close to even Chippewa.
Yeah.
I mean, they're...
And Blue Lake and all those down in that area.
So one of the things we talk about is that you can park right out front. So if you're coming into Big Rapids to do that, you can't park right in front. At the hardware, you can right in front. At the hardware, you can just park right in front. Go right in.
Right.
Yeah.
And they know you by name.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So that's the thing. Ricky has an amazing knack for knowing your name.
Yep.
And all he has to do is meet you once, and he knows who you are.
Yep.
It's an amazing talent. Nuts and bolts, tools.
Are they affiliation of anything?
No. If they're in a co-op, I don't know. They may be, but they don't have it on the sign.
No.
Yeah.
So, but they have just the small stuff that you need. Plus, they have camping supplies and
plumbing
supply. For plumbing, yes, they have PVC and all that. And if you're going fishing, they have minnows and so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have all sorts of. You go in there. You remember the hardware store when we were kids.
Yeah.
It had the squeaky floor. Well, this is the place.
Yeah.
You want to go back and have that memory.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I remember Justin's Hardware downtown Big Rapids. Tom Justin, Don Lang, and Kui Longcore worked in there, and Mrs. Mishler, and
That's what drew me to it when I went in. It was, because we had back in New York, we had Griffin Hardware. That was nice.
See, the hardware when it started out years ago, it was down where McCursey Brothers retail store is now. That was Farwell's hardware.
Oh, was it?
For years and years and years, the Farwell family had the hardware there.
Well, where was McCursey? Next to it?
Next to it.
Oh, okay.
Where he has his slaughterhouse was his grocery store or their grocery store.
Yeah.
And then when the hardware went out, they bought the old hardware building, and then the Thatchers started this new one because that building they're in now became available to them. And
when I started my radiator shop up, Pat's Radiator, back in '77, I think it was, I was looking for customers. And some of those customers come from far away back in the day. And I was very grateful for 2 in Barryton, and actually 3. Wellings was in Remus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bob Welling.
Yeah.
He was a great friend of mine. Boy, he was a great musician. Remember Bob?
Yeah, I remember of him.
Oh my God, him and his crew would play like no other over there. They'd play at, bars or whatever, get-togethers. Bob was quite a musician, but him and his boys were great mechanics there in Wellings and Remus for many, many years. Never forget, and a lot of people never knew this probably, or don't know this, Navarre Ford and McCain, or was it
McLean?
McLean, Chevrolet, Navarre Ford. How in the heck did those boys support each other, or not each other? How did that town support 2 car dealers? And these were Chevrolets, brand new ones, and Ford, Navarre Ford. They were pretty good sized dealerships there. Yes. They sold a lot of cars.
Yes, they did.
But they must came from.
And my dad got me a driver's license when I was 13, and I was hauling chickens. I come into a place in Hershey one time to pick up a load of chickens to take into the process. You didn't go outside of town to buy a car. You bought it at home.
Oh, yeah. I bet if you did, you were shunned, eh?
Probably.
Yeah. Was there another one that bought from McLean? Who bought after McLean's?
Bob Maley.
Yes, Maley Chevrolet.
He had some horse.
Yeah.
But
now, what happened there, do you think, why those 2 left Barryton?
Well, first of all, the competition from the outside, and Jimmy Navarre, he bought
it's hard to believe, because I went into a bar in Hawkinsville. I've been going down there since '73, I think. And the local bar, I went to the Redneck bar down there. It's like, we have a few of them here, thank God. And they treated me okay, and as we go on and converse a little bit at the bar, the one guy looks at me and goes, how long you here for? I said, just a couple weeks ago. You're a good Yank. And I said, what do you mean I'm a good Yank? He goes, any longer than 2 weeks, you're not a good Yank. I said, the Civil War's over. And he goes, no, it ain't. I said, yeah, it is. No, it's not. You want to start one? No. But my Lord, they still, for Bob to gain respect down there was quite an achievement for him because he ended up being he was very smart. And Navarre, Jim, they didn't come any better than him, did
no,
they?
he was a great kid.
Yeah. So he sold that to somebody else and went to St. Louis.
Yeah.
And Jim Navarre.
Then there's
oh Lord.
Yep.
I know. I can't think of his last name.
Yep.
But I know Kenny Ferris used to go in there a lot.
Every night we'd all meet down there.
Yeah. Just a small little gas station.
See, it used to
people over, but
I'll think of it on the way home.
Well, that's fine. But anyway, and then Williams, they bought it from him, right?
Well, no, there was one in between that. But
all right. Yeah.
But
they've really made it big over there at the corner now.
They've redone that corner.
Yeah.
And have a real good business.
Yeah. That's, I mean, there's a lot of transit there, isn't there?
Yep. A lot of
transit. Goes up and down that road.
Yep.
A lot of people.
66, that's the main corridor up through to the north.
Yeah.
Lake City and on up to Kalkaska.
Yeah. What's the most exciting thing that's happened ever to Barryton?
It's just a very nice, pleasant place to live.
Jimmy Van Sickle's still there?
Yes, Jim is still
How's
there.
he doing?
Lives out east of town. He's doing very well. He worked on the railroad. He retired from the railroad.
Okay.
And he and his wife are doing very well.
Yeah, he had a real good trotter at one time.
Yeah.
Went over and beat everybody.
And Red.
Chili Pepper or something, wasn't it?
Red Hot Chili Pepper.
Yeah, what a name.
Made him about 100,000.
Yeah, I know. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it? I always enjoyed it.
That was Ronnie Warble had it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then they made a broodmare out of her, and she died, I think. She didn't mount anything.
Oh, okay. Never did.
No.
Huh. Yeah. How about now, south of town there was Lonnie's brother-in-law. He taught it. Okay.
And they do a lot of business there. It's up at the rental unit south of town called Mommy's. She does very good.
Then you got Barryton Firearms. That's kind of a newer thing for you to have there.
That's new. I'm not too. I wish a lot better.
Yeah, I know. It's sad, isn't it?
It is. And the hearings were held, and your people from Big Rapids come over and pointed out to the problems that would be, and everybody seemed to think there was
an orchard. We would pick cherries for money in the summer.
Sure.
You had cherry trees over there?
We had. That's an interesting story too. We planted cherry trees about 1955, and the last year that we had owned that, my dad sold that in '68. But anyway, we picked 15 ton of cherries. It was all U-picks.
Really?
And we had apples and cherries and plums and pears. And the interesting part of it, a man by the name of Chick Dennis come along, and he retired from the Navy, and he wanted to be a farmer. But the only thing he knew about farming was that he wanted to be one. And so he bought the place, and I sold him the equipment that I'd had because I was
that's what I was going to ask you. What happened?
That's what happened to the cherry trees.
How many acres do you have?
Well, there was, I don't know, there was 1,000 trees.
Wow, and that killed them all.
Yeah. Sure.
So then they quit cherries.
Yeah, and then they've sold it and they've let that go. There's still some apple trees and pear trees.
Really?
But they don't take care of them anymore.
Yeah, I never knew that.
Yep.
You would never thought, because everybody thinks it's always over in the Hart, Walkerville area. It's big cherry and apples.
That's how I got to auction school.
Oh, really?
I wanted to be an auctioneer from the time I was 6 years old.
Really?
And so I...
Well, so you were that little boy that wanted to go, not to go to school.
Yeah.
Your mother...
Pretty soon he began to say, how the auctioneer could talk so rapidly. He said, oh my, it's do or die. I've got to learn that auction cry. Got to make my mark and be an auctioneer. 25, I don't know, who'll give it 25, make it.
That's Ma. Boy, that's good. But, well, anyway, who sang that then? Who sang that?
Oh, he's turned 96. What's his name?
Oh, my Lord. Yes, it was.
Van Dyke.
Yep. So you went to, let's talk about.
Tried a horse sale down in Illinois for Russ Squires one time.
Really?
I enjoyed the auction business.
How old were you back then?
Well, let me see.
40s, 50s?
No. I was 20 years old when I went to Mason City, Iowa to Rice School of Auctioneering.
But you were in the insurance business too then at that time?
Yeah, I come back. I started having auction sales while I was teaching school yet at Pine River.
Really?
And before the first sale I had was on the 3rd of August, and we had Harry, what was Harry's name? Harry Phillips.
Yeah, I remember the Phillips.
What's that?
Oh, here we're going to go, what are you going to give me $4 or $5? Going to go 10 now 15, now 25.
Well, you see, when you learn that, you start out, your brother's all.
Yeah, Philip, yeah.
But anyway, you learn it by saying some things like, the big brown bear bet a big brown bug, and a big brown bear bet a big brown bug, and that's one of the things that
oh,
people
really?
know how to do it. And another chant is the engine number 9 going on that Chicago line. If that engine jumps track, you will get your money back.
I didn't know that.
Just keep doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
And then that's how you get used to saying fast numbers.
That's where your chant comes in.
I'll be darned. Nobody's ever told us that, have they, Bob? But so you went to, you had a lot of auctions. Midwest auctioneers, they had a big conference here. They had the mayor there, spoke at it, and you had like the 4-day.
Well, no, it was down just before you went over the South Bridge. It was Carnation Milk.
Oh, I don't remember that.
They picked up cream cans and cream. And then Jason Kimball delivered milk, and he delivered from a building back behind the restaurant there. But it had he had a store, a hardware, and that was a separate building, and the elevator, of course, burned down.
Yeah.
And the store went out of business. That was a co-op, and that was a dime store for a while.
Then she said there was a drugstore.
Yep, that was.
Who had that? You remember?
Luce is where it started. John Luce graduated from Ferris, and then his dad was a pharmacist, had one part of it. Then Harlan Butts was a barber, and he had a part of it, and the bookstore was the other part. And then they built a new building and sold it when John to sustain them at a level where, because the last owner of the rest of the drugstore come to Ferris and was the pharmacist at Ferris.
Oh, really?
For quite a while.
Yeah.
And there just wasn't enough year-round business to sustain them.
But the people there now, there is enough for them to be there.
Well, there seems to be, yeah.
Because like you have Huff's there, the towing company, then you have Rob's Tire.
Yeah.
He must do a few. Tires there.
Seems to do a good business.
Yeah. And then you got Hanson's, and you got pretty good. Then you got Dollar Store. I see one closed up.
Yeah, the Family Dollar closed up. The Dollar Store in general.
Good restaurant too here in Michigan was McNeely's up north
up on the North End. That hasn't been anything in that for years.
No, but that was a good place for a long time. Then all of a sudden, boom, they're closed.
Yeah.
That was kind of a staple there, wasn't it? They're still there though, aren't they?
Well, their offspring are.
Yeah, McNeely's have a big pig farm there now, right?
Well, I guess north of town.
Yeah.
The McNeely's have they haul gravel. The boy does.
Okay.
Eldon's boy.
Don't they have a pig farm up there in Hoover someplace there, just west of 66? They had one up there, I know. I thought.
It could be. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, what else? So, like, you got any cute stories when you were an auctioneer?
Oh,
anybody?
No, I guess not. I mean, it was pretty much.
What's your best memory of being in the equipment?
Or you and I both know him. He was a great announcer.
Yeah.
And
Henry, memory.
Yeah,
Henry. He had a great memory.
Yeah, he did. And Harry Wilson.
Yeah.
He was a colorful person on it. He always would say, "Well, anybody can shoe this horse when he gets to be 30 years old.
Right.
When this horse is 30, anybody can put his shoes on him."
Yeah, I remember him. This is how old I am. When I started it, he charged $8 to shoe a horse. To now, in 2025, it's nothing to see somebody get $150 to shoe a horse. It's just unbelievable, Bob. I went from $8 to $150.
Yep.
Just everything's gone up so much.
Well, we used to race horses. I remember racing at Saginaw when we raced. If the purse was $900, we thought we were doing good. They raced for $600-700, and of course, your audience probably would be interested on those purses. When they race for a purse of $800, the winner don't get all of that. He gets 50%, and then second place they get 25%, and the third place 12.5%, and 8 and 5 pay 5 places. So when you're racing for $700 and you're getting 5% of it, you're getting $35.
Yeah.
Back then, the gas cost 27 cents a gallon too.
Yeah.
So,
you know, inflation is a terrible word, because if you think about it, back when I was a kid, we were all on our own, and we made enough to get to the next fair and had a lot of fun, you know, and there was some well-to-do people in the business, but majority
we're just average people.
Yeah, just got that check and went on to the next fair. And God, life was so simple back then. You know, you think about it, who was the president? And that being said, who was the president when you were born?
When I was born?
Yeah.
Well, Roosevelt was when I was born.
Roosevelt.
And soon, I was born in 1940, and soon after that, Harry Truman.
What happened, Bob? You know, we have so many programs today, Medicare and a lot of charities that help people. Nobody goes without food today.
No.
I say that, and somebody's out there going, oh, yes, there is. Well, I'm sorry, but there's ways of getting food today. Back then, there wasn't so much, was there? What did people do?
It was real charity. Now, today, everybody's looking for something for nothing. And when they go to the government, the biggest thing is what can I get from the government? And it's unfortunate because some of our candidates are playing right into that. This character from New York and some of those guys.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's hard to tell. When you talk about inflation, I remember my dad telling me one time, he said, son, someday you're going to see a time when you'll have to have a wheelbarrow full of money to buy a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
And we just about got there.
Yeah, really, isn't that something? They saw that. But what did you guys do over in Barryton? Because you must have had some poor families over there.
Well,
did they just work and made means?
The church tried to take care of them. I suppose there's several churches in town.
Did you guys have fundraisers for the poor over there back in the day?
I don't remember.
Just churches.
But everybody worked.
Right.
We hired, a lot of our hired men were older fellas, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, they worked. Today, if they can get something for nothing from the government, they don't care about working.
Yeah. It's called pride, ain't it?
Well, I don't know what it's called.
They don't have pride.
They don't have any. If it's called pride, they don't have any.
Where did we go wrong, you think, Bob?
Well, we started giving it to them. I mean, that was a big thing. Became political. As the president said, you know, it's not what the government can do for you. It's what you can do for your government. But people have lost track of that.
Yeah. I said we weren't going to get political, Bob. I always end up doing a little...
Yeah, don't seem to.
Pretty much get along with... Everybody gets along pretty good. You know, I go in the Williams Cafe almost every day. It's pretty much the same people except for the transit people that stop in there because they know there's... But I'll tell you what, folks, if you do want a good lunch, that place has got a good hot beef. They got really good chicken. Yep. I think Jim does a lot of the cooking yet, doesn't he, or no?
Well, he's there every day. I don't know if he does the cooking, but he's there, takes care of it, and keeps track of it. He does a good job.
Do you get down there very much?
Well, I used to. I'm in a wheelchair now.
Yeah.
It's a little tough getting in and out. So.
You're enjoying life, though, aren't you, Bob?
I am, sure.
Yeah, you got to be thanking God for the great life that you have, but it goes by fast, doesn't it?
It does. They say life is like a roll of toilet paper.
So he stopped in. He's always optimistic and great dad. And I said, how old are you now, Chris? He goes, 51. I said, my Lord, you're young enough to be my son. You know, I'm 70.
WBZX.
And I said, you know, it goes by.
All you got left is your memories, and I find that true. I'm remember this and remember that. But I can remember as a young man, if you were 50, 60 years old, you were an old person. I didn't know many people. Roy Foote got to be 90-some, and I thought, well, he's ancient.
Yeah.
But I'm almost there.
Well, you're not old.
I don't feel bad. I feel
and you got plenty of years. I sound like you're going in the grave tomorrow, but no, I don't mean that at all. No. I just wished everybody would enjoy life as much as you have.
Yep.
And you met so much to people in your lifetime. I remember you would give people that didn't have a pot to beep in and a little credit. Good one,
He was good at that because he he was just good at that job.
He is a remarkable man, isn't he?
Very.
He speaks his mind.
Yep.
And
you gotta like him. I mean,
yeah. I don't know if anybody doesn't like him, but I'm sure he has some critics out there, but he was just a colorful man, that's for sure.
Very good.
And you've been good with him, and yeah. I don't know. I don't have any other questions. It's top of the hour, and Bob Aldridge here at 103.9 probably wants to move on. I really appreciate your visit today, Bob.
It's been a pleasure. My pleasure.
WBZX Big Rapids, by the way.
But I will close out. Anything you want to say to those Barryton people or anything else?
No, I'm fine.
No?
It's been very enjoyable.
Well, maybe we'll have you back on one of these days. Maybe have Paulette come on with you. Do you know Paulette Winslow?
Not personally, but I know her.
Yeah.
Very tough.
I bet she has a lot of stories from Barryton, too. And then we could call her the next generation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Well, God bless America, Bob. God bless you, Bob. Bob,
Thank
and
you.
all of you for listening today. Have a great day.
Sometimes crossing paths with a flying stone is inevitable. But whether you have a small chip that needs quick attention or a windshield that's beyond saving, Michigan ADA's Calibration and Glass is there to help. If your vehicle has been in an accident and you're working with insurers, Paris Auto Sales is still your trusted used car center of Big Rapids. So if you've been driving the same vehicle for what seems like decades, come on down to Paris Auto Sales and get yourself a new ride today. Now with 2 locations to better serve you. Trucks, cars, SUVs, big or small.